Kate Middleton said she was worried about her finger but willing to try her hand at wheelchair rugby as she turned up to the Alam Sports Centre in Hull with a bandage on her hand 3 weeks after injuring herself playing on the trampoline with her children. The Princess of Wales, 41, ditched the smart suits as she opted for a tracksuit and headed to meet Disability Rugby League players in East Yorkshire, where she joined a training session with the World Cup-winning England wheelchair rugby squad. Speaking before heading on the court, the princess told a team member, "I am worried about my finger, but willing to try." But clearly a natural at the sport, her injury didn't hold her back, and Kate quickly scored a try and lifted her hands up to celebrate. The bandages appear to be a precaution from her injury earlier this month, when she damaged her fingers trampolining with Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis at their home in Windsor. While the royal has been opting for sophisticated suits lately, she instead wore her Navy Rugby League polo shirt and tracksuit bottoms with white trainers. Despite the casual attire, Kate still brought the glamour with perfectly coiffed hair and a pretty makeup look. Showing off her sporty side, the royal didn't let her apparent injuries stop her as she got into the game. The royal first ran around and passed the ball the rugby team, before having a go at the wheelchair game with the England Wheelchair Rugby League, and quickly celebrated a score. Kate taped up her hand following a recent trampolining injury. When visiting a male prison in Surrey earlier this week to support an addiction charity, it was revealed the mother of 3 had hurt her hand trampolining with her children at home. Despite having to strap her fingers after the playtime injury in their Windsor garden, Kate shook hands with staff at Hempie Down. It's far from the first time the royal has been seen sporting a plaster. Kate's otherwise impeccable image is often marred by the unsightly skin-colored tape wrapped around one of her fingers or thumbs. However, she appears to have taped it up ahead of playing sport as a precaution, as she didn't appear to have bandaged up her hand while meeting Ukrainian refugees in Bracknell. Wheelchair Rugby League is currently the most inclusive format across rugby league, providing the opportunity for all to play together regardless of gender or disability. England hosted the World Cup last November and beat their old rivals and reigning champions France 28-24 in a closely fought final. Their efforts helped to elevate the standing of the sport, the most inclusive format across rugby league, allowing players, regardless of gender or disability, to compete together. The princess celebrated their success by inviting the squad to Hampton Court Palace for a reception in January and said at the time she, William and their 3 children had watched the final on television, and youngest son Prince Louis was a keen rugby player. During the visit, the princess also learned more about Physical Disability Rugby League, PDRL, a full-contact version of the game adapted for players with physical disabilities who want to access a running version of the sport, and Learning Disability Rugby League, LDRL, a non-competitive version of the sport specifically adapted for those with learning disabilities. The Hull FC Centre of Excellence provides a holistic, industry-specific program for 16 to 18-year-olds who are interested in physical activity and working in sport, attracting and developing the best talent both locally and from further afield. Committed to enhancing the grassroots development of rugby league across the country, the program aligns both coaching and education to give its students the very best opportunities to succeed and progress straight into the sporting industry, or into further education. Kate's visit will highlight the significant value and impact of Disability Rugby League on its participants, their families, and local communities, and shine a spotlight on the power of sport to tackle inequalities, and support and develop individuals regardless of their circumstances or background.